Good morning. Bonjour. I'm very glad that I got this opportunity to say a few words about Sweden and about what we do in Sweden to promote biomass, biofuels, and also a few words about Sweden's policy on the environment. You know, we are just in 6 weeks going into the Copenhagen Climate Conference in Europe, and I think everywhere in the world. There are now meetings all over to see to it that we will get a successful outcome of this extremely important conference in Copenhagen, where the threats of climate change will be hopefully taken care of in some way or other. Sweden, which for the moment holds the presidency of the European Union, will be a very important player at that conference. And as you know, both Sweden and the European Union has a very strong, I would say, I would call it a very strong position that the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions must be reduced to with 20% or even 30% by the year of 2020, and a further reduction up to 70–80% in 2050 to be able to keep the temperature under +2 compared to pre-industrial levels. That's the big challenge, and Sweden and the EU are prepared to take a strong responsibility to keep that promise. In Sweden, we have already started and to work with, with a very ambitious program for reducing greenhouse gases. We started actually already in the 1980s, not because we were at that time afraid of climate change. We were then afraid of, to being too dependent on oil for economic and political reasons. So already in the first years of the 70s, Sweden started a transformation process. And we are today, I would say, our dependence of oil in Sweden has decreased with about 70%. And we have, from 1990 until today, reduced our carbon dioxide emissions or greenhouse gas emissions with nearly 10%. But I think what is very important then to say is that we have at the same time had an economic growth of about 45%. So when people talk about, that it's impossible to have economic development and at the same time reducing emissions, look at Sweden, look at United Kingdom, look at the whole of EU, which actually also have reduced their greenhouse gas emissions with a few percent since 1990. So, well, the Canadian record, for many reasons, are not the same. But what I want to say, and countries have different conditions, I'm quite aware of this, but what I want to say, it is possible. And of course, one of the reasons why we have been able to reach this goal, because we have reached the Kyoto goal more than we were actually required to do, is the introduction of biofuels, the introduction of renewable energy. I think since the oil crisis in 1979, the development of bioenergy in Sweden has been very, I would call it, impressive. Today, about 30% of the total energy use is coming from biomass alone. And today, and that's a growth of from 1980 with about 20%. And we are, as you know, and that I think testifies with the delegation we have here of 5 Swedish companies, very advanced companies in the whole, I would say, the whole system of using biomass for heat and electricity of energy production. We have also, of course, because we have been so many investments, so many incentives to introduce biofuels and biomass, have also developed, I would say, advanced industry, state-of-the-art, cutting-edge solutions. And I hope that all of you will be able to meet these gentlemen from Sweden and hear more about their interesting projects. I think this is also a sector where Sweden and Canada could work together. And when I come to North Bay, this is the first time I'm here, I can really see that you feel at home. This is like Sweden. It looks like Sweden. And I think also the mentality of the people seem to be a little like us in Sweden. We like to explore new ideas and to use our fantastic natural resources. Thank you very much for letting me speak, and thank you also for a fantastic conference. And I'm very impressed, you know, to see so many people here in an early morning. But it's not early for northern people in North Bay, I understand. Yes. Okay, thank you very much.